All right, so welcome to Rita Ready Set Go, and I want to talk about a movie called Goldie. I streamed on Netflix streaming services. It looks like it was once aired on Vice or FX. I can't remember which one, but it stars Slick. Slick is our Goldie, and she's our main character. And I found the movie interesting. I think it's kind of if we're always looking for comparison. What is this kind of like? If I were to look at it for being like looking at the content, I would say ultimately it's like the reverse of Precious. Like if Precious is taking us through the life and times of an individual with children and all of the pitfalls of moving forward with a very dominant and abusive mother, then this is kind of on the middle of the spectrum where there's the main character doesn't have any children, but she cares for her sisters as if they were her own, but not on purpose. This is that her mother was incarcerated, or her mother was taken to jail during the filming of the movie. So therefore, she was left to figure out how to navigate with the children, her sisters, her siblings. And what I found interesting is that I think the whole movie takes place over like a 72 hour. So it was like day one, her going to work, getting fired, but she's excited because she's anticipating going into this music video shoot, and she thinks this is going to be her launching pad. But then when she gets home, she notices that there's an altercation that happens between her and her mother's boyfriend, because earlier in the day she had stole money and she had said she didn't steal it, and so he was fussing with her. And then there was a warrant issue for her mother's arrest, but I think that was a separate incident. And then DC, who is it? DSH, I don't know, Department of Human Services, is it Department of Children? Well, they came in order to get the children, and Goldie didn't want the children to be placed in the system. So then the movie takes place of like what happens with her having the children in her care. So she goes from friend house to friend house, the person that she knows, in order to keep her family and her nucleus together. And what I enjoy most about this movie is that it looks at our limitations as human beings when we truly just need help, and how especially as African American females, we have to be strong. And I felt like she had to be strong to the point to her detriment. Like she did everything she could in order to be in the video so then she could be successful. Like she was taking risks. And there's nothing wrong with taking risks. However, the risk she was taking by her being young and naive, she didn't understand that these risks were not going to necessarily pan out. Like to take all the money that you have and resources to buy an outfit to be in this video versus trying to get you all a place to stay for the night. And it just speaks to her youth and her naive. And so, ultimately, she had to make some tough decisions. She had a mentor or a teacher who was in her life that was helping. Her best friend was the fellow that she worked with. However, he was like, I can't go down these roads with you because I'm on probation. So I can't go with you, because she started making decisions like selling like prescription drugs that her mother had and so on and so forth. And I'm not going to ruin it because it's definitely a character piece. There's not really an ending to ruin as much as it's just basically about the trials and tribulations of a young woman trying to navigate the streets of I'm assuming New York City. What do I ultimately think? It's a quick watch. I think it's an hour and 27 minutes or something like that. Definitely feel free if you love genres like the Native Son, if you like Precious, if you like A Day and a Night. This goes right along with it, so you'll be absolutely in your genre. For me, I just think it was just unfortunate that this young lady didn't have individuals to go to for this. And also as parent, like I always go back to the parenting. To me, like I wish the mother would have had some things set in place if you live in a certain kind of way. And that you could potentially be taken away from your children. So have things in place, or have the conversations with Goldie of what to say and how to navigate DCYF, I think. Department of Children and Youth Service. I don't know. So, or Child Protective Services. I'm sorry. CPS. How to navigate that. So anyway, it was definitely an interesting watch. Don't regret watching it. However, I don't know if I would give it like 5 stars. I think seeing Slick in her element, I'm assuming that this is her debut film. I could be wrong. I enjoy seeing her as an actress. I like watching her nonverbal. She seemed very realistic. It looked like I was just watching someone go around with her with a camera, like reality TV or something. So she did a very good job, very convincing. However, my issues were like, am I kind of over these type of stories? Am I kind of over, although it's very common, this is definitely a common topic, am I kind of overseeing this within the like African American film? The constant reverbal of not winning or being always let down or not succeeding or using sex and drugs, and like, I guess I'm trying to, like, I would love to challenge a director, and I wish I had money because I wouldn't even challenge a director. I would do it myself. To actually challenge the imagery that we're putting forward, because similar to, I keep hitting this mic, similar to Slick, I have been that person who found myself in similar situations, like making sure my siblings were taken care of due to like having a parent who may not have been as responsible as needed to be. However, like I can honestly say, like, there were avenues in place for me to think bigger and be a little bit more resilient. Like, I guess I wonder if for African Americans, if the payoff at the end is always like so minimal, how do we ever get off this cyclical cycle, especially seeing it in our art? Like, even within our movies, like, I'm ready to see those individuals who are challenging status quos every day. Like, there's someone right now graduating to be a nurse, or someone right now who's going to be a school teacher. And I think we sometimes miss those stories or tucking those stories within our art. And it's just unfortunate. But anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm at the 6-minute mark. Like I always say, get out there and live life and be ready, set, go.